What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, ReductionAgency.com and Urban-Picker.com. 23 years selling full-time on eBay. And we had a long weekend this weekend, so it's Tuesday. And I don't have nothing to ship out today right now. So just want to check numbers, go over, see what we did on the weekend, see what we did last week. And then I'm going to talk about a few things on what's going on, just because I feel there's a big change coming just with reselling in general. Something big is about to happen and I want to be ready for it. And as you know, I'm big on systems and organization and such. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about where my head is with that stuff, at situations, whatever. But Adrian actually took the day off today. He was off yesterday, off today. Took today off to go golfing with a friend of his. So he was up till like 2 a.m, just keeping up on shipping. So I literally had nothing to ship out today. So so I came down and pulled yesterday for him, and he just kept up on it all day. So I'm like, nice. So that came in really nice, and especially still battling my head issues and sinuses and crap. I guess going for a walk every night is not helping. Springtime. And if you watch Primo Chemo, as Spam would said, dog dander, dust, mildew, whatever we have to deal with being resellers, also on top of that. But thinking, a big portion of it's going to be springtime right now too. And my head's just not happy. My sinuses are miserable, or they're making me miserable. One, two. Maybe they're happy being what they are, and it's just making me miserable. So let's look at the numbers, and then I'm going to go over where my head is, and things I'm doing now to prepare for the future. So let's see what's going on. This weekend I just started, haven't really paid too close attention to the numbers because I've been kind of busy working on ideas and stuff that I'll talk about. But let's see, we are in the media store right now. We'll do the weekend first. We'll do the normal weekend, the Friday through Sunday, even though it was a holiday weekend, just to kind of keep it on track of normality, if you will. And I didn't bring my other phone for my calculator. So these are going to be rough numbers in my head. Or actually, I can pull up calculator on here. Let me. If my computer wants to wake up. Ugh. It's getting there. Slowly. Might be a year for new computers. So hopefully we can stay far enough ahead this year. And I got a feeling, like I said, things are going to really change. So should be able to buy all new computers before the end of the year. So that'd be nice. Can I shrink this down? And over. There we go. Okay. For the media store, $1,519. I guess I could type it in here, couldn't I? Which is down 3.7% from the 3 days prior. Plus the clothing store. Got all these windows open. Go. Sales. 23rd through 25th. See if I had any international. Oh wait, this is that. Well, hold on. Let me click. I forgot to see if I clicked. No, I didn't click international over here. Let me see. 1519. I did have about $30, so let me change that up. All right, $1,550 on the media store. Round it up, and that's down 9.5%. And on the clothing store, $958, up 39% from the 3 days prior to that. Because if you know, the 3 days prior to that was pretty awful. So plus 957.72 equals $2,507.49. Divided by 3 is only, oh, okay, $836 a day over the weekend. Hell yeah, back in the 800 club. All right. I didn't expect that. I'm happy with that. Back in the 800 club. Nice. A little bit has to do with what I did in the past couple of days also. So that's going to be on the subject that I'm talking about. So yeah, nice. All right, let's go with the week and see what the week did for us. So that would be there through there. So on the clothing store for the week, $1,905, up 8.5% from the week before. Let's just go 1905 point. Let's just use the round numbers. Top 5 items in the clothing store last week were men's casual button-down t-shirts. I had 3 sell to the same person of these. I think I got them at a yard sale last year. They looked homemade on the Western feel snap front. They were just plain colored though, but they had that Western feel. But they were like what's the word? Not paisley. Pastels. 3 different like pastel type old 50s-ish colors. So somebody finally came in and bought those. So I forget what I had them listed for, what they sold for. They bought them straight out. So, but I think those were the only 3. Heck, I could be wrong of the button downs. So that was number 5 at $128 right there. So that's nice to see. Number 4 is women's hats at $134. Major League Baseball at number 3 at $155. Men's t-shirts number 2 at $157, and that's the only one. No, it's not the only one down, but it is down 28%. And then number 1, men's hats, $709, down 17%. So hats were down last week. Also, hats and t-shirts, which is odd because this is the season that those usually sell well for me. So it's kind of odd that those are the 2 that are down. All right, over to the media store. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing over here. Crap. I went 1 extra day by accident. I hit the Monday. So scratch that 800 number, because that was false. False. Dag, James, you messing up. You're not paying attention. What's wrong with you, boy? Dag. And I thought I was back in the 800 club. So you got to take off about $430 $38. Yeah, definitely not back in the 800 club. Okay. Dag, I messed that up, didn't I? Ooh. Woo, woo. And I thought I did good this weekend by what I've been doing. It's at least a good start anyway. Let me redo these numbers. So that's $1,167. In the media store. That's down 15%. Whoops. No, I'm messing up. 1167 point. What are you doing? I guess I was hitting the wrong C. 1167 point plus. Let's try this again. Sir, screw it up. Okay, that was $1,297. $1,297 point equals. So that's $2,464 divided by 3. Oh, I'm still in the 800 club. Am I doing this right? Dude, what is going on here? Okay, so if I did that right, I apologize. I must not be with it right now. So I took a day out. 19. No, it's doing that. Come on now. Now it's messing me up. I hit 23, but it moved it back up to 19. Dude, this is chaos. $957.72, up 39%. And I got the right days. Okay. One more time. Third time's a charm. $958 plus, let me double check my days over here, $1,167. Whoops. $1,167. $2,125 divided by 3 equals $708. So we're $100 plus lower than I thought. So we're still in the $700 club, not the $800 club. Be smarter than a calculator, James. Please. That's all I ask of you. Be smarter than a damn calculator. All right. Oh, is anybody smarter than a calculator, actually, if you think about it? Be smarter than freaking paying attention to what the hell you're doing. Good Lord. Coming here screwing all this up. Now, let's try the week totals one more time to make sure I am right. So, for the media store, $2,879, up 13.2%. We'll go over the top 5 too, as long as I don't screw that up. 19th through the 25th. $1,905, up 8.5%. 1905 point equals. So for the week, $4,784 divided by 7, and $683 a day. So not quite 700s for the week. Boo, a boo-ho. Top 5 items in the media store. Coming in at number 5 is Michael Jackson at $80. And that was that promo flat that went to South Korea, I think it went to. So that sold for good money. Just a 12 by 12 poster, flat poster. from a promo item from Record Store Days. Coming in at number 4, DVDs and Blu-rays at $93. Number 3, vinyl records, $415. Cassettes coming in at number 2 at $586. And then number 1, CDs, $1,247. CDs are up 1.7%. Good Lord, did you get... All right, so for the week, right under 700. For the weekend, just over 700 for the average per day. So we went in the right direction. With the way I'm keeping track of my numbers in front of me on the notebook, I can divide the number that we're up or down for the year by the day of the year it is. So we're 100 and something days into the year or whatever, and it gives me a number. So if I'm up, it says I'm up $11 per day. And when I look at that number, it gives you so much hope, because you're like, well, crap. If I could generate an extra $11 per day or $20 per day for 100 days in a row, that puts me up even more. So what can I do to generate $20 more per day? And having that number so simplified in front of me, it kind of opens your eyes to what's capable. Like if I just decided, say, hey, let's do a Whatnot show once a week and see if I can make $20 times 7. And then that would be the $20. So doing something a little different just to get that extra bump per day, that's just going to take the money in the business up a level, if you will. So having that in front of me, simplifying it, gives you a lot more control over your numbers, but it gives you a different perspective than thinking, overwhelmed, how kind of like some people are overwhelmed with their death pile. But if you break it down, it's simpler. Same with numbers. And if you break it down to the day and how much you're up or down per day into the year, it just seems like it's something so easy to change. Like if you were down $10 a day for the whole year so far, you could be like, well, that seems easy to fix, right? So breaking it down like that can, at least for me, helps me try to think outside the box or think differently about what's going on. So, all right, that was a huge cluster frickin' mess, wasn't it? So as I was talking about what I've been doing around here and different things like that, as you know, I'm trying to organize. I'm pulling stuff out of the garage. I'm getting pictures taken of that, trying to get it organized. Got the pictures in nice organized folders so everything can just go smoothly while listing. Start getting shelving units out there like the ones behind me, so I can start moving or start having listed items out there as opposed to unlisted items. That would be nice, because you can't sell what's not listed, right? So as I'm doing this, I don't even know how many CDs and cassettes I've already had pictures taken of, how many items I have pictures taken of, stored in a folder on my computer where I can just go in and start listing this stuff. And I think the basis of why I say things are going to change in the future are things like Google Lens, and of course with AI and different companies and even eBay trying to utilize AI to the best of its ability to streamline everything in life. So it's only a matter of time before it's going to make reselling a whole lot easier for anybody who wants to embrace new technologies and all this and that. And I'm just going to say this: if you don't, you're one of those old fogies like your parents were. If you don't embrace AI, because like I think I said this before, I think where we're headed now is going to be so massively greater than the tech jump. If you're my age, boomer, maybe even a generation kind of below Gen X, you kind of seen the tech jump we had with fiber optics and phones and such, and how great, drastic that was. As I said, we're going to blow that out of the water. We're going to 100 times that with AI technology, just because it's so self-learning and can just probably do what the tech world did in, say, 10 years in like an hour. So hell, maybe 1,000 times better, greater. It's just gonna be crazy. I say start, if you're not on board with that stuff, start just paying attention at least and playing with it. You're only uncomfortable with something because you don't know about something. So if you start playing with it, tinkering with things and trying, maybe even watching videos about it, about different things and what it can do. Like right now, the whole turning videos into babies talking is a big thing. You know, you saw me sharing the pictures with turning pictures into puppets, all that kind of stuff. And it's only going to go uphill for everybody, from not just reselling, but I think medical. Like I said before, I think cancer is probably going to be cured. If money and politics don't get involved, I think cancer will be cured in like 5 years, because how could it not, with that kind of brain power, smarter than us, figuring, okay, this is the problem, this will fix it. But that's when you get, people, the medical industry they don't like to cure anything. They just want you to live with it. So, like I said, if money and politics don't get involved, health-wise, I think it's going to be great. I do hope that what AI is doing to some industries, when it comes to like self-automation, that it will do the same thing to healthcare. And it'll just be like all these people making billions of dollars on healthcare, they're just going to have to find something else to do. I hope that plays into the medical field also. That would be the ultimate, yes, the ultimate greatness for humanity, period, if that's possible. Because then maybe we'll get back to things like, things in nature can fix things in nature, right? So kind of like when a crow is sick and they let ants crawl on them because they give off this certain thing that heals the crow. So nature fixes nature. So hopefully we'll be able to learn more about that kind of stuff, and healthcare will be a lot easier and a lot cheaper and a lot more successful. That being said, we're going to break it back down to reselling. It's only a matter of time before, things like, 3-4 years ago, people were like, Vendu, list perfectly, all these things, like, oh my God, we're moving forward, Flip, all these companies popping up, TreeCat or whatever, all these companies popping up to help resellers do things easier. The next step is going to be huge. The next step is going to make things like list perfectly, it's probably going to put them out of business, honestly, if they don't keep up. It's going to make that look like a baby step compared to freaking a giant step. So, that being said, I've always tried to keep an eye out for the future. What's going to happen, even down to the simplest things of what's going to be hot this Christmas. I used to always be like that. I used to always know and be on top of what's going to be hot for our Christmas season and go out and start pre-buying it beforehand. And I was probably right about 85% of the years I used to do that. Some years I'd pick a couple of different things just in case. So I'm kind of just trying to focus my attention back on, instead of necessarily the present, the future. Because as I said, I think the future, the step is going to be so vast that if you're not ready for it, you're going to start getting left behind. So what I've done to start readying for what I feel is going to be an advancement in reselling. What do I do about, thankfully I've got the inventory, right? I don't have to go out and, get a huge death pile of stuff. I've got 5 storage areas filled with stuff. Let's get going. So as I've been working on for the last couple of months is pulling stuff out of the first storage, getting pictures taken, getting it organized. I'm trying to get it staged as if it was already listed. And all I have to do is pull in a box. The pictures are already taken. Just start doing whatever will need to be done to list. And boom, it's done. This box is done. And so I'm trying to get everything in order, if you will. I just cleaned out. So I had moved an area, started getting the media. So I just shifted another area because I want to start getting shelving units. So now I'm at this certain area closer to the house. It's got a bunch of different stuff in it, more of the crates of video game stuff, and I don't even know what the box is. So I'm going to start digging into that kind of stuff today. And that's what I've been kind of doing this weekend, is getting back to oddball stuff, the everyday, everything seller stuff. Clothing and hats and media, that's my foundation. Well, media and hats are my foundation. And then everything else is just piled on top of that. So I'm trying to get back to that everything else. And I sold a drill gun without a charger this weekend. I sold some box toys I had in storage. A bunch of other oddball stuff too. So getting that stuff listed, I think I listed like 4 boxes in a matter of nothing this weekend. 4 of my huge boxes, my 20s by whatever. And I just used something simple as Google Lens on the everyday stuff. I would put the items in the eBay draft. As I was pulling the picture in, I would right click, search with Google Lens. It brought it up, and I would just copy and paste and put it over. One thing that I used to do, and I'm trying to get out of, is being worried so much about a clean title in eBay, like making sure every letter's capitalized, things like that, in order to kind of help streamline, I think, what's to come. Everything's not going to be so perfect. So do you really need every word capitalized if it's not? As long as the word's there, right? The keyword is there. So I was just copy and paste, wasn't worrying about, let's make these 2 words are not capitalized, but every other word is. So let me capitalize those 2 real quick. No, I'm like, just go with it. Just go with it. That's going to be a lot quicker than sitting there nitpicking. So I tried to let a lot more go. And again, I'm doing volume. This is, if you're doing great items individually, blah, 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 of course, you're probably going to want to pay better attention to details just to make it look prettier, whatever the case may be. The volume game is totally different headspace. So just go with it. I mean, if you look at some of the big CD sellers, they don't even always have the artist in the title. It's just the title of the album. Don't say CD, don't say nothing other than the title of the album. And that's just because it was listed quick through a program and boom, boom, boom. But yet they still have us sold on stuff like that, right? So it is possible, especially with the volume. So why should I worry about a couple of capital letters lowercase letters. No, just go with it. So I was shocked doing the oddball stuff on how easy something like Google Lens, which is a few extra steps than what I think is going to be the future. And being able to list that stuff that quickly. It was kind of eye-opening. I've done it before, but I never got into a flow with it. It was always kind of choppy. This weekend, it just seemed to work. I don't know if it was the items or what. It just seemed to work, and everything was flowing. And it took a lot of anxiety out of just listing oddball stuff. I like the stuff that's consistent and fast and boom, 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 let's go. It made that stuff fast. I was boom, boom, boom. It's sure not as quick as CDs and stuff, but a whole lot faster than it used to be, which is some simple little Google Lens technology. So creating a system around that was very eye-opening, like I said, but I think that's just the bare bones of what's going to be the future. I was able to also come up with a way to finally double my shelf space here and make pulling quicker. How long this project's going to take and how I want to tackle it is another story that I haven't figured out yet. So I have like 10 by 8 by 6 boxes, I think they are. And I'm using them right now for my temporary stuff. Like I temporarily put them in there, they're held upstairs, and then I bring them down and I find homes for them. Well, I didn't do that this weekend. I was going to do every weekend. I didn't do it this weekend just because I've been trying to work on new systems to fit more in the space I have and to pull items quicker. If things change the way I think they're going to change, sales are going to vastly improve. So the best way around that is improving your pulling system and your shipping process. So I got these 10 by 8 by 6, I believe it was done. I had to cut them down just a tad bit, take a smidget off the 6. And it fit in here perfectly. And it fits in here and comes out to about here. And with these boxes, if I run these boxes along the whole shelf, hopefully these don't tip forward. And make sure these are like fastened together so they don't, because that's going to be a lot of extra weight out farther than the shelf. It literally doubles my space by using those boxes. So if I put all these in those boxes, I would clear up half of this shelf. That's how, that's huge. So I'm going to start that process. I haven't figured out exactly. And then each box will be lettered A, B, C. So it'll be shelf 30, box A, shelf 30, box B. Each box holds 25 to 30 items, depending if it's cassettes and CDs, mix, or whatever. DVDs fit in there perfectly, so I could have a roll of DVDs coming out this far, which is, DVDs are always the hardest for me to figure out a nice way to organize because they waste a lot of space in my drawers. And on these shelves, you can't see that, but they sit like this. So I have to pull them out to look at the title, right? And so when I got a whole shelf of those, I'm pulling them all out. So be able to have them just in one box, I pull that box out, can see the title and pull it a lot quicker. So one of my main one of my main projects is getting these shelves converted, which means I got to come down, pull up the shelf on the computer and go, hey, click this one, put it in the box, click this one, put it in the box. So it's going to take a minute, right? And then type it, instead of shelf 30, shelf 30A, shelf 30B. So I can get more room here. So being able to have more room for just the CDs, cassettes, and DVDs alone, when I've got hundreds and thousands of those in storage waiting to be listed is huge. So that's that's the main project, the main idea I had this weekend that I've been playing with and trying to hone in on it. And now that I'm happy with it, I've lived with it for a couple of days. The idea, I had one test box, I fitted it in there, I fitted it in there, and it worked good. My only concern is making sure that these shelves are secure so that heavier weight don't pull them forward somehow. So I'm going to start at the bottom for sure on those and work my way up, because that's more weight on the shelf unit too. So I want to make sure the box fits really snug so that the weight is distributed across all the boxes, so they should still slide out perfectly. If not, then I'll work a piece of wood in all the way up on each shelf to help support it if that doesn't work properly. So starting at the bottom will be easier for me, and then I can start seeing if it's going to work or if I need to start, getting some shelf, some support cuts so I can get them in there. So yeah, that's going to be huge. So getting stuff out of the garage and doing this whole thing, I'm pulling like some of the bigger stuff out now. I'm getting into, like, I got a lot of pictures taken of media and stuff. So now I'm just starting to concentrate on getting these bigger boxes of stuff out, get that stuff listed, the oddball stuff, the everything stuff, and just get it listed and out of here. Like I said, I sold so many different oddball items this weekend. Let me just throw a couple of these out here that I listed. I thought I hit sold, no? What the hell is going on? So, so a McFarlane action figure, a couple of Matchbox toys in a one box, 2-pack. Disney's planes, a big fighter jet plane from that. A little Service Master cleaning service die cast van sealed in the box. A little Simpsons Lego set that's an open box, but the package was still sealed. Got that listed this weekend. Where's the other items? They're not showing up. Let me refresh this and see if it's up to date. Yeah, it's got to be up to date. Why is the other stuff not showing? Maybe it's down farther. No, those sold on the 20th. What? Hold on. Ended recently. All right, what's going on here? Somehow new is clicked. I guess that's what I did. I accidentally clicked new. Okay, this will be better. Ooh, just had a bunch of albums sell. I found a Zelda from the Game Boy in a case in the closet or in the garage. Sold that for $20 quickly. The action figure, an old Atari 26 / Commodore 64 controller, sold for $28. Got that listed, sold. The cordless drill without a battery, $20 there. The toys were $10 and $25 there. 16 for the Service Master cleaning van. And then the Lego piece. Another Dreamcast controller, $18 there. So yeah, so I'm just going through and the Pitfall video game for Atari 2600 listed that. Sold another one of my ads that I pulled out of magazines for Gorilla amplifiers. A musician wants to hang it in his music room because he uses Gorilla amps. stuff I've listed. Why this computer is just, I still haven't cleaned it out. Yeah, I need to clean it up. I found a mini disc player, portable mini disc player I had in a box. I had some, when my office was down here, but when I moved upstairs, I would put a lot of the stuff I had displayed, or maybe I was going to higher value stuff or my own personal stuff in certain boxes. So I found one of them this weekend, so I started listening. So I had that Sony mini disc player in there, had a Ricky Rocket concert used drumstick from Poison, an early one, Mario game, Rush Keishi 95 sticker, a Megadeth pass from 1995 VIP with his signature on it, just all different kinds of just little different stuff. Robert Plant Manic Nirvana limited edition, the long box sealed, some little pins, an Ice Cube promotional item with all of his album covers on it. It was one of those flip-flop cube things. So just different stuff. All these, the thing that was the easiest with the Google Lens were all these like loose little toys. I had these Elvis stand-ups, these dowels, this Avengers, I guess it's a perfume, E2 Tortilla, I don't know. Got that. I just copy and paste. A little Tonka truck. This was all I used Google Lens on, all this. All those cheap starting lineup sports action figures, Google Lens, copy paste. Action figures not even capitalized, like I said, just going with whatever it spits out at me and being okay with it. Stop being so nitpicky. Perfect about every letter being capitalized and not. G.I. Joe with some accessories. An old 12-inch one, $160 I put that up for. Bunch of sealed toys. So yeah, so I'm just trying to better prepare for what's to come, because something great must be coming, and I'm going to make sure I am first in line, first on board to fully utilize it to the best of my ability and get ahead and in front of everybody else. So, and a big part of that is organization, because if I'm listing a lot more, that means I need to place it quicker. I need to be able to pull it quicker. So working out those systems now, getting prepared, because I'm ready for 2025, not only to kick my ass in a good way, but I'm ready for my bank account to freaking start climbing again. I'm tired of this eBay crap issue. I'm going full volume, and I'm going to make my numbers that I want. I want to get back to the life-changing numbers that were when I was paying off the business debt. The numbers that were able to pay off the business debt. I want those numbers now, because there is no business debt, which means I can get the Pee-wee money back pretty quick. Then I can start doing other things. I can start investing. I can start helping people. I can start a lot more cool stuff. I could actually take a vacation. I could take a break. I could take a day off if I had those numbers today. I could be like, you know what? I ain't doing nothing today. I don't know what that means, because I've got to do something. That's just me. But I want numbers to where, you know what? I'm going on vacation for a week. I'm actually shutting the store down for this week. I want those kind of numbers. And I'll be damned if 2025 ain't going to give me those numbers one way or another. Because if it ain't going to give them to me, I'm going to take them. Because I'm freaking ready to go. I'm ready for life-changing stuff. And I'm going to make sure I'm prepared for those life-changing things, whatever they're going to be. I'm going to be there kicking the ass, and I'm going to be taking you along with me and showing you everything I can to put you in the same kind of position. even though you are my competition. Because that's just who I am and who I prefer to be. All right, I'm going back to work. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Yeah, I don't know what's coming today. I haven't done no other videos this weekend. I'm going to get in a backlog of them on my bird snippets. Haven't touched those. I've just been thinking and trying to figure this out so I'm prepared. So I don't know what videos are coming. So whatever comes, you'll see. And I appreciate all the support. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video. Later.